life. No one tells us how to picture it or form it, but just to follow one's inspiration and have faith in it. In the meantime, it will bear fruit. We can't end this story without telling about this wonderful woman whose name is Chiyo Kiku. She devoted her life in preserving various folk cultural heritage, such as folk implements, textiles, and local languages. How exciting it is to open the door and meet her. Hello, Sabtan. You are already welcomed. Please join us. Will you tell us about what Bashofu is? Sure. Bashofu is a cloth woven from a kind of a banana plant fiber. When did you start weaving Bashofu? I think it has been around for a long time. I had a grandma. She used to say that it was more important for girls to excel in handwork than to study. I was told to learn weaving so that I could make a kimono for my husband and my family after getting married. So I have been weaving since I was in elementary school. When it comes to Amami Islands, it is famous for Oshima Tsumugi, silk pongee. Historically, its production was introduced into Yoron later. I think your mother also wove and produced silk pongee. Did you also weave them? Yes, of course. I learned and wove them for a while. However, in those days, basically, it was indispensable for women to make kimono for their own family. So I put a lot of effort into weaving bashofu, and consequently, I focused on it. In 1955, Japan entered a period of high economic growth. All the women on the island started to make money by weaving Oshima Tsumugi. That situation lasted for a long time. On the contrary, what was the reason you could not help sticking to bashofu? Because I thought that we should never go extinct our culture, which had been handed down from our ancestors. My grandma was with me, and she taught me weaving. My mother, who was born in 1880s, she used to say that the handwork was the best. She often told me to work so hard that I could make a kimono for my own family. That's why I did stick to bashofu. After Japan's high economic growth, you felt some kind of fear that those old folk implements were going to be discarded. So you decided to establish your own folk village, a predecessor of Museum of Art and Folklore, as a preservation facility. And you thought that to let those old folk implements go off would naturally cause the disappearance of the words accompanying them. I had a strong feeling that I had to preserve the language as well. On the other hand, Oshima Tsumugi silk kimono manufacturing became popular and prosperous. But what about bashofu? There seemed to be no one that would like to weave bashofu. Did you have a strong feeling that you had to leave it for the next generation? Of course, I felt I had to do it somehow. In 1980, you established the Bashofu Preservation Society. Will you tell us how it was founded? Well, It is impossible to do it by myself, so I approached to some of my acquaintances who seemed to be interested. We discussed and exchanged our opinions day after day. Finally, we reached to the agreement to cooperate. That's why the Preservation Society is still on. I'm very grateful for it. I think it takes a lot of time and effort to weave bashofu. Could you tell me any difficulties in weaving, if any? The whole process of weaving the fabric, such as picking out the fiber, spinning, and weaving, was nothing but a hard task for young women. During the daytime, they had to go out for the field to work together with their husbands, and at night they spun yarn under the lamplight. As a result, it became in a style as we see it today. Your son got married and his wife Tomoko got to weave bashofu. From your aspects, what do you think of her weaving? Excellent! Her weaving is 100 times as good as mine. I have a feeling that she was doomed to engage in weaving. She also seems to have been advised the importance of handwork from her young age. She had already educated and trained well before she became our family member. So she could weave a roll of cloth herself right after she joined us. That was fantastic. Yes, that was a very memorable day. This March, Bashofu was designated as an important intangible folk cultural property of the nation. It made your long-time wish come true. How do you feel about that? I can't do anything by myself, but thanks to everyone's cooperation, I could make that possible. They snuggled up to my feelings and helped me launch the Preservation Society. I am reassured and happy to work. Is this what it becomes, a basho tree? No, it isn't. This is the so-called banana tree you are familiar with. Oh, is that so? Banana is called mibasho, bearing fruit basho. It is just bearing fruit right now, so please have a look. Okay. This one is very similar to the banana tree you saw earlier. But this is not the banana tree. This is itobasho, literally fiber banana tree, which becomes raw material for basho cloth. It belongs to basho family and bears fruit as well, but it is very small compared to a banana. Let me explain about the content of the fruit. It is so hard that we can't usually eat it. And the stem is strong enough to get fine fibers. So it has been used for a long time in a woven fabric called bashofu. Now I'm going to show you how to produce it briefly. After cutting down the fiber banana tree, peel it in order from the outer side, as you can see. Since the fibers on the outer side are coarse, they are used for work clothes. The middle ones are for everyday wears. The core ones are for special occasions kimono. So we classify the stem into 3 types in advance. After that, we boil it to make it soften. We squeeze it with bamboo to take out the fibers. Then we take the process of tying the fibers into threads. So this is the whole process of producing bashofu. The work you are doing now is connecting the threads, isn't it? This is the fiber of basho, and I am tying them to make threads. We call this work huumi, the work process of connecting fibers to make threads. Ah, I see. Please let me take a look for a while. Huumi. We make the knots as small as possible. We cut both ends of the tied threads at the closest point of the knots to allow for delicate weaving. yorikake. Twist and twist the thread to make it stronger and prevent split ends. Through various processes, the cloth is completed. Basho trees are swaying in the June breeze.